Good afternoon and welcome to yet another New In Box engine video for the New In Box engine video series. Today's engine is, you probably heard me say this before many times, one of my all-time favorite engines. I say that a lot because I like a lot of them. But in all honesty, this is one of my all-time favorite engines from OS 4-stroke engine. And let's just get right to it. On the table here you can see an OS Surpass 4-stroke engine box. And why this is one of my favorite engines of all time is really hard for me to put my finger on. Maybe it's because it's an old OS engine. Maybe it's because it's a 4-stroke. Maybe it's just because I like this particular engine. And every time I've ever run one, I've had nothing but pleasurable experiences with them. This one is the FS-40 Surpass, which, for those of you that don't know, is the very first in the Surpass series of 4-stroke engines that OS put out. This engine came out to the market in 1986. And this type of paper, I do not believe, is what it would have come with. I'm not entirely sure, but something about this paper doesn't feel right to me. Seems like it would have been more like this white tissue paper here. But, so let's look at this engine. Well, let's look at the contents of the box here first. Because it looks to me like this is one of those that I like, which means it's complete. So here are the contents of the box. You've got the awesome combination open-end wrench, which these are things that usually are the first things that get tossed, or not tossed, but taken out of New In Box engines, and then you never see them again. Even when they get to be resold, they'll usually be missing the wrench for whatever reason. So this was a good one because I really like the fact that this is a complete engine as far as I know from all the things that should be included in the engine, and that is always a big one. Now I've also got another bag here with the choke knob extension, a couple of wrenches for working on the engine, and we have the exhaust. Nice little exhaust, which is complete. Now these bags were already open, so previous owner or owners had actually looked at this. Now this is the engine, and we're going to talk about the paperwork here after I show you this engine. Because like I said, this engine came out in 1986 is when this engine came out, and I'm hoping to determine, is this a 1986 engine or is it actually a later engine? And hopefully the marketing literature will help us determine that. So here is this New In Box OS FS-40 Surpass engine. Just absolutely beautiful. I don't know, there's something about the 40 Surpass. I've had 48 Surpasses before, and they were, fine engines. There's nothing wrong with them, but there's just something about the 40 Surpass. Maybe it's the way it sounds. Maybe it's how easily it starts. I don't know, but I've had a couple of these, and they were always engines that after I had gotten rid of them, I was always kind of like, why did I do that? Because there's just something about a 40 Surpass. So that's that. Let's look in this marketing literature and see if we can determine exactly how old this engine is. So we've got our template here, which always comes with these older 4-stroke or many of the older OS engines. Usually you'll see it cut or holes knocked out or something. This one is perfect, never been tampered with. We have our little OS safety instructions and warnings booklet. We have limited warranty card. We have our decals, which all of these engines in this time period would come with. Now what is this? This is the instructions for the OS FS-40 Surpass engine. So this is interesting to me because this is an instruction sheet that's specifically only for the 40 Surpass 4-stroke. And it has information in Japanese and English, and it's basically just a parts list and talks about the propeller, fuel tank, needle valve opening. But that's the thing that's curious about that is here is the full instruction manual. So right now this already kind of tells us the age of this engine. If you look here, it says FS-26 Surpass, FS-40 Surpass, and FS-48 Surpass. So that leads me to believe, I'm pretty sure, I know for a fact the FS-48 Surpass came out in 1987. I'm not so sure I remember the 26 off the top of my head. My OS engine timeline is right in front of me on the wall facing me. I could get up and walk over there and verify it, but I want to think that the 26 Surpass entered the market in 1988. And if that is the case, then that dates this engine to 1988, and it is not a first edition or first year release engine. And I'm sure this OS engine marketing literature will probably back that up too. Now this is going to be the 2 strokes, and let's see here. Here's some 4 strokes on the back side. So we also have the FS-120 SP engine here, and the FS-91 Surpass on here. Oh man, like I said, I can't quite see my OS timeline from here. I'll put some text up here and tell us, but this is really honing in on how old this engine is. Now the interesting thing is this is the only 4-stroke engines they've got in this particular marketing literature. I would have thought they would have shown the full lineup, but that is not the case with this particular engine. However, the key is that here's the engine, and it's new in box, and it's a FS-40 Surpass engine. Just a wonderful engine. Is this a keeper? Hell yes, this is a keeper. Is this a runner? Hell yes, this is a runner. We will definitely be running this engine in the future. I can't say near future because weather is so strange here, and what I'm finding here is that in Wisconsin, even when you have a really nice, beautiful day, sunny and warm, which we've had a few of here this spring already, it can be windy. Windy as hell. I mean, really windy. We're talking 20-mile-an-hour winds. And I've already learned my lesson that that is really not a conducive time, at least for audio, to go out and do engine runs, because part of the reason you want to watch and see an engine run video is so you can hear it. And if you've got a lot of wind interfering with the sound of the engine, it's just not so good. So I've had at least a handful of good days, weather-wise, temperature-wise, that I could have gone out and done engine runs. However, I did not because of the high winds. But hopefully the winds don't stay here forever and we'll be able to get some more engine runs in. So I hope you enjoyed seeing this latest new in box engine of mine. It's definitely one of my favorite engines from the OS line anyway. I'll just categorize it that way. And it's definitely a keeper too. So thank you for watching.